Let's go to Ed in Orlando. He's got an auto accident case. Ed, you're on News Talk WDBO. Go ahead.
Good morning, everyone.
Hey, Ed.
I was involved in a rear-end collision yesterday. I am not the at-fault driver.
Good.
It's been 30 years since I've been in an accident, and I know what to do 30 years ago, but I'm sure the laws and procedures have changed. I was wondering if you or someone in your office could advise me as to the best steps to take so that I am made whole.
Well, Ed, I want to confirm first that you were rear-ended, I assume, right?
That is correct.
All right, so for this, I'm going to turn you over to Colonel Arith. And damage to Ed's car, maybe to Ed. Colonel, what would he do in this situation?
Well, I assume the police were called and you exchange driver information so that you'll know the names, the address of the driver and his insurance company. Hopefully you looked at his insurance card so you know his policy number.
I did not. The police officer did, and it was a rental car.
Well, rental car, the laws about rental cars have changed somewhat. If it's a true rental car, that is a weekly type, not a lease, but a rental. Because rental cars nowadays, rental car owners are not liable for their car like they used to be. There's a statute that got passed, and it's unfortunate, I think, but that's the case. So as a general rule, though, that person, when he rents that car, had to supply his insurance company information, and you should have it on either the driver exchange information that you should have gotten, or it'll be on the actual crash report, they call it, which will come out in a couple of 3 days, and you can get a copy of that for a couple of dollars or something. So that's what you do. Meanwhile, you contact your insurance carrier to make sure they know about the accident. It doesn't matter who was at fault. If you were injured or if you lose any time from work, then your personal injury protection benefits is going to have to provide the kind of the first line of defense for you, and that's regardless of who is at fault. Your property damage claim, though, is going to have to go against either that rental car, which I think is difficult these days, or the driver of the rental car's insurance. If it turns out he doesn't have insurance, which is unusual, but it does happen, then your insurance company is going to have to pick up your property damage as well. Uninsured motorist coverage does not cover property damage. It only has reference to your personal injuries. Hopefully you didn't mention that, so hopefully you don't have any. But that's kind of the process. Make sure you let your insurance company know. It should not affect your rates because you are not at fault.
Hey, Ed, was there any injury to your body?
I have a little minor discomfort in my back, but nothing serious.
Okay, so would Ed, this is what personal injury protection is for, is Ed might go see a chiropractor or his family physician, and personal injury protection is available right away to pay his doctor visit. Is that right?
That's correct. 60% of your doctor visit, 80% of your lost wages. And there are some new rules nowadays as of July 1, so you have to act quickly. You cannot wait a month or two and decide to go.
I was going to make those calls today, but I wanted to talk to you first.
Well, that's fine, man. If you're not feeling well, then I would go see a doctor on Monday and make sure you're all right. Because sometimes these things can come up in a week or 10 days or 2 weeks or even a month, and you just don't want to waive any time limitations by not seeing about it. Get yourself checked out if you're having any kind of difficulty at all.
And all right, can I interject one caveat?
Go ahead.
Yes, sir.
The person driving the car was not the person who rented the car. It was rented by her mother, and the person driving her daughter supposedly was not covered as a driver of that vehicle.
Well, I hate to tell you this, Ed, but the more ifs, ands, and buts you put in there, then the more difficult it might be. It makes it very, very important that you contact your carrier and make sure they know about it and have reported it and can follow this claim just in case it turns out that somebody can successfully deny coverage to that driver or to the owner of the car.
So at the end of the day, Ed may be looking to his own insurance company for compensation here. Hey, I'm curious about, Ed, are you going to need a rental car? And Colonel, when can Ed assume that he's entitled to a rental car?
You are. Anytime you have property damage like you're talking about, one of the damages that you have that you could recover from the at-fault driver is called loss of use. And loss of use means the fact that you had a car, now you can't use it. It's going to be X number of days while it's being repaired, and that's the time of the loss of use, which is usually calculated as what it would cost you to rent a similar car or vehicle to replace the car that's getting repaired.
All right.
Do I put that bill up front and get it back from the insurance agency, or do they step in right away?
Well, that's hard to know if they will or not. Some of them do. I don't know what your coverages is. Number one, if you have personal coverage that covers loss of use or a replacement vehicle, then your company will step in and do that. It all depends. I'm talking about the at-fault driver. The at-fault driver then is reliable for it. Unfortunately, in your situation, you're making me wonder if there's any coverage on the at-fault driver. But if there is coverage, then that insurance company should pay you for loss of the use of your vehicle while it's being repaired.
Okay, Ed, best of luck to you. And by the way, if you want to reach Colonel at the office next week, you're welcome to call him there at 407-423-5561.